Hello guys, welcome back to another lovely trading video. In this one we're going to be doing some in-depth stock analysis on FUBO. Reason for that is it's actually coming into a short level resistance. So we may be seeing a reaction of this on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, so thought it would make sense to be doing the analysis video before we come into that level. So what level are we looking at? So right now we can see we closed at just under $30, and right now after hours it came to exactly $30. And where we have this resistance is at this $30.75 area, to be more precise $30.72. When we come into this level, we will most likely get an intraday pullback, and if not, this will could be the reversal area for FUBO for it to come back down to maybe the $23 level. So right now, that is a key level that we'll be looking at. Is a low risk kind of short area, and well, yeah, in all reality, yeah, that's kind of just our low risk short area because it's coming into that first deviation on the 4 hour. Now we quickly go over to the daily chart, and we can see if there's any gaps that need to be filled, because that's always one thing we do look out for, because the majority of gaps do get filled. We can see there's actually a gap fill at $31.53. We can see on this push it didn't quite do it, so it may end up filling this gap on this push. We then also have a gap up all the way up at $41, and they're the two that kind of really stick out when looking, so they're the main ones I'm going to be focusing on as of right now. So yeah, it does look like we will most likely get some selling pressure into this $30.75, and as we have a gap fill at $31.50, we could see it kind of break through into that level before getting that pullback and or reversal. So these are kind of, yeah, short areas that we will be looking for the time being. But if it does for some reason end up, well, if it does continue past, so more likely than not, we would expect to see at least a pullback, if not a reversal. But if we only see a pullback, then where would our next levels be? And that would be, we would have a key level at $35.75, another one at $38 as a whole dollar, and then we kind of got, yeah, that gap fill at $41.80, and then a very far push would be $44.15. So and then we'll also place this because it's the third deviation and it's very close, and that would be at $45.25. So for right now, these are our key levels to the upside. So depending on how you trade, you use these levels differently. If you're a short bias trader, you may look to get short at these levels. If you'll only take long positions, you're already long, these could be good profit taking areas, or you could also use them for waiting for the breakthrough, come for the retest, and then trade, hopefully, the further push. So again, depending on how you use levels, you will use these differently, but these are usually just levels where selling pressure will come in and the stock will tend to pull back coming into these levels. And yeah, 90% of the time you get a pullback at these levels, and then probably around 40-50% of the time you also get reversals. So that's usually how we look at these levels, is pullbacks at least, and then we try and catch the reversal if it's going to turn into one. And then, yeah, so those are our key targets. If for some reason it starts continuing down, or if we end up reversing, where are our low risk buy zones? So problem with the buy zones is that they're very far off. We're looking at around $19 and $16. So it's very unlikely that we would see that in the near future, because it would require FUBO to fall back 50%. So for kind of buy zones, it's hard to say that we would even have these as buy zones, because it would just take so long to get there. So instead, the other key levels that we'll be looking at will just be the statistical mean. And these are usual levels we won't trade off, but we tend to see a stock have a large reaction. When this stock comes into the statistical mean, it tends to have a large reaction either to the upside or downside. And that you usually don't know when it's coming into it. You just have to kind of wait and see. But you will see the majority of the time when the stock first comes into statistical mean, it will have a large push either to the up or downside. For example, when we're breaking down, we had that strong push as a pullback, retest, strong push down, comes into it again, strong push up. Actually, it did kind of consolidate here, but usually you look for that push. And then here we kind of just consolidated on the statistical mean, so won't be looking for too much of a reaction until, for example, on the 4 hour, we need to hit the $30.75, and then we would most likely have a big reaction at the $23.50. And then we're looking at the daily, we would have to hit the $35.75 for us to kind of see a big reaction down at the 2750 level. So it's usually just how you use a statistical mean. It has to hit the first deviation on that chart, usually for it to validate a strong reaction when it comes into it. So for right now, yeah, short areas, the ones we're coming into probably Tuesday or Wednesday, depending if Tuesday is a red day. But yeah, these are levels we're most likely going to be coming into soon, and are low risk short areas. Then if we do end up coming through, again, we have short areas at 35 and 38. They'll be kind of our next level of key shorting. And then a further push, which I don't think is as likely in the near future, would be the 4180, 4415 and 4525. All levels where if it does come into there, we would be shorting, but are quite far off. And then yeah, the 2750 and the 2350 won't be levels we will trade off, but expect to see strong reactions. So sometimes I usually just leave alerts on stocks when they come in statistical means, just because then you can know in a day or two in advance before it's kind of coming into a statistical mean most of the time. Then yeah, the 1890 and the 1625 level, these will be low risk areas if it can come down to that level, but looking at the chart, it would need a 50% pullback, so unlikely that we'll pull back to there anytime soon. So I hope you enjoyed the breakdown on FUBO. Hope to see you in the next one, and that's it. Peace.
I wanna go, I wanna fly, I wanna take myself